AquaX, best racing in the world.
So these guys get to watch AquaX everywhere over here. Check this out. Welcome to Tampa for round 3 of the National Guard AquaX Championship. AquaX racers, well, they're a pretty interesting bunch, but there's some other people here in Tampa this weekend who maybe take top spot on the podium as far as that's concerned. AquaX! So after the beachside action and the surf of Daytona for round 1, the skis moved to the calmer waters of Jacksonville for round 2 and the usual 3-race format. So let's go join your race commentator, Brian Smith.
The 200 class was the usual field of Yamaha VXRs.
The green flag drops. We're underway as the field takes off down the backstretch.
Championship leader Rob Greenwald had a target on his back according to title challenger Kelly Bavall.
After Daytona's interview, Rob pretty much had a bullseye on his back for me.
And Bavall started race 1 with a point to prove and an impressive hole shot showed he meant business. But things didn't go quite to plan. A face full of water from a lapping 300 gave Greenwald just the opportunity he needed to take the lead and the flag.
I've never had a pass that took me 6 laps to set up.
Race 2, Bavall passed Maxon and Greenwald to take a satisfying victory. Race 3, Kelly Bavall led from the start, never looked back and took the win in the weekend.
So that really closes the battle for the 200 title, with Bavall now only 11 points behind leader Rob Greenwald, with Jason Maxon still in the hunt in 3rd.
It was awesome. Just rode as hard as I possibly could. Rob and I, probably 5 or 6 laps going at it back and forth or whatever, and finally I got him and able to pull down the lead, so it was awesome.
The 250 class was dominated, as usual, by former world champion Eric Lagopoulos, winning all 3 races, leaving Sean Hagan in 2nd and Tim McKercher in 3rd, all on Sea-Doo.
So with Eric Lagopoulos winning all of the races this year, he has a commanding 28-point lead over Tim McKercher and Sean Hagan, a further 17 points back.
The 300 class was the usual frantic racing. Rasmussen went for the pass, Dolly made it as difficult as he could, and Rasmussen went for a swim. In race 2, with the pressure on after his swim in race 1, Rasmussen dominated. Behind was the battle between teammate Eric Francis and Anya Cawley, swapping places throughout the race, with Francis finally getting 2nd. Race 3 was another great ride from Rasmussen to take the win, a perfect end to a great weekend.
So with just a point between 3rd and 4th and only a point between 2nd place Francis and 1st place Rasmussen, it's all to play for this weekend here in Tampa.
Real surprised that we did finish on top spot, but it was worth it. It was a long weekend. It was rougher than we thought it would be. Very good weekend.
So we have the usual format this weekend of 3 races, 1 on the Saturday and 2 on the Sunday. And as always, it is going to be a huge test of fitness and stamina for our riders. And with this being the 3rd weekend of 5 within the championship, at the midpoint, this is certainly a weekend where it's all to play for. So Rob, great to see you here in Tampa once again. You've got an 11-point lead on your main man, Kelly Bavall. Tell us about it.
Well, he's last year's champion, and when I come into a race, I'm looking, I don't like number 2. 2 is not a thing I like to play with, and so I'm here to take his championship away and steal his thunder, and I'm working real hard at it.
We're hoping a little bit of the same. We have a little competition this weekend, so we'll try to repeat and win every moto.
I'm going to learn a lot on the first moto, and hopefully tomorrow I'll take what I've learned and make some improvements. Hopefully, you got to listen to your body, and you can only do what it'll let you do.
We've been training hard. We dropped about 6 pounds past from the following race. We got the boats all running excellent, so I feel me and the team should be running extremely strong this weekend.
So Stu, great to see you here in Tampa this weekend. Scorchingly hot weekend here. We pulled you out the shade, but things are hotting up as far as you're concerned at the top of the championship.
By 1 point.
By 1 point between you and Eric Francis. And how are you feeling in yourself ahead of this weekend? You done any extra training, or you just
very good? I ride my bike 15 miles a day, so I stay in shape. Most of the thing is just endurance. Being able to stay on the boat and mentally and physically for 30 minutes wide open. That's the key, is being able to not fade, and mentally also.
So this is how an AquaX weekend starts. It's the riders briefing. And this weekend here in Tampa, we've assembled perhaps 25 of the most competitive and talented jet ski racers that's performing anywhere this weekend. But safety is key. So Jim, who's in charge of proceedings here this weekend, is running the guys through everything they need to know. So let's have a listen.
What I don't want to see is a 200 guy coming in to the bottom turn, and as he's approaching that buoy, he's about to come in and someone on 300 comes steaming.
So Jim, good to see you here again. Few stern words there at the race briefing this morning. A bit of an incident in Jacksonville that you wanted to just kind of draw a line under.
Yeah, I just want to tighten things up a little bit. The guys, they raced really well. They've been great. In fact, the US guys have been really good. They've taken on all the rules, the start procedures. They switched onto that real quick, which was nice because we had a few issues with it in the UK the first year, getting people's heads around it. And then there was a small incident with Scott Dawley and Stuart Rasmussen. As I say, I wasn't here, but I watched your footage, which was great for us. Yeah. And the way I call it, it looked like Scott had a bit of an error on the turn and almost hooked the ski and came to not a stop, but he kind of like stalled the ski for a second in the turn, and Stuart was approaching him at sort of near 70 mile an hour, and it's very difficult to get out of that when that happens. So Scott felt that he rammed him in the back, but if you saw the footage again, Stuart had nowhere to go.
The guys are all ready to go racing, and you can keep check of the race classes by looking at their race bibs. First up in blue is the 300 class. The reds are in the 250s, and the 200 boys, they're wearing green. Time now then to go and join your race commentator.
Hey, thanks, Kevin. The green flag drops, and we have a good start here for race number 1. On board at the start with Scott Dawley on the number 74 ski in the 300 class. Troy Snyder on the 110 takes the whole shot on his Yamaha FX at SVHO, but is being chased down by Stuart Rasmussen and Blaine Spooner. Nice sweeping first turn for these racers here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. The first turn is always critical with these guys whenever they're going to the first turn for the rest of the race. Back on board with Dolly with the watercraft cam, giving us a great racer point of view and what it is like to be in the mix with these racers. Snyder continues with a commanding lead over the rest of the field, still being chased by Rasmussen and Spooner on his Sea-Doo RXPX. The 361 of Eric Lagopoulos on board with his 250 class Sea-Doo GTR. He's in the mix with the 300 class racers as he swings wide on the turn. Snyder still out in front, but Anya Cauley on the 52, giving the guys a run for their money, making this look very easy. Rasmussen holds Spooner off at turn 1 to maintain his second place for the time being. Snyder still cruising out front. Rasmussen managing to pull ahead from Spooner, putting some serious distance between him and the rest of the field. Yamaha racer Snyder being challenged by Rasmussen, but will Snyder be able to keep the pace? There's a 55 of Scott Watkins, currently in second place in the 250 class. Kelly Belval on the 41, he's in second in the 200 class. Chasing down Rob Greenwald. Troy Snyder has Eric Francis all over him on the 911. Here they come down the side stretch, going by a lap rider. Troy Snyder with Blaine Spooner on the 222. Number 40 of Mike Gast in third place in the 200 class. Anya Cauley again on the 52. There's a 361 of Eric Lagopoulos. And the 911 of Eric Francis. Mike Gast in the 200 class hanging in there as we are in the tail end of the race number 1. Some of the racers showing some of the signs of fatigue after 20 minutes of solid racing in the hot Florida sun. Current 200 class leader looking strong though. Rob Greenwald on board his Yamaha VXR, the number 57. Back on board the number 74 with our watercraft cam. But oh man, it looks like Troy Snyder is having mechanical problems, leaving the 300 class open for Rasmussen and Spooner to fight it out for the first place. Snyder's definitely off the pace. The 2013 200 class champ Kelly Belval on the backstretch of the course. Rasmussen has some new competition as the 911 of Eric Francis and 52 of Anya Cauley has caught up with the leaders in the 300 class. And here we go, we have the checkered flag, and Blaine Spooner manages to take the win on his Sea-Doo RXPX for the 300 class. and he looks stoked to have a win under his belt. It's the first one of the season for him. Eric Lagopoulos takes the checkered flag for the 250 class, and some excellent racing here in race number 1.
So Rob, awesome day for you here. First one of the weekend in Tampa, top spot once again.
Yeah, it feels good. It's where I like to be. I mean, I didn't take the second place in Jacksonville too lightly. So I came out here with one thing on my game plan, and that was to win. And I'm really looking to try and bring it tomorrow to try and get a 1-1-1, get it where it belongs, really stretch out my lead in the points.
So as well as the AquaX Championship here in Tampa this weekend, we're announcing the new Leica Mobile World Rankings, and the #1 spot now goes to 911 Eric Francis.
I mean, it was totally shocking. Like, you know, we've done very well this season. I was just totally shocked to come here and get the #1. So, you know, it's really exciting and definitely makes me want to push harder for tomorrow and make up for some lost ground today.
So that's it for day 1 here in Tampa. The AquaX boys put on a fantastic show. Top honours then going to Blaine Spooner, Eric Lagopoulos and Rob Greenwald. Join us when we come back for day 2 and 2 more of the same. See ya. Welcome back to day 2 here in Tampa, where practice is already underway, which is good news because it means that the racing action isn't too far behind.
Here we go for race number 2, and it looks like a clean start. On board with the current #1 AquaX World Rank rider, Eric Francis, wearing the coveted green and blue Leicamobile race vest. Here comes Snyder again on the charge. Looks like he has fixed his mechanical issues after race number 1 as he takes another hole shot. Rasmussen and Spooner is hot on Snyder's heels though. Snyder tearing up the course. Looks like he is in it to win it today. Lagopoulos planning on maintaining his winning streak. He is undefeated so far this season, has won every race in the 250 class. Snyder still dicing up those turns like they're nothing, maintaining a great pace so far, looking awesome. Back on board with the watercraft cam on Francis's boat. Snyder with his commanding lead. Let's see if he can maintain this pace as we still have some time to go in race number 2. Oh, and heartbreak for Spooner as he suffers some mechanical issues, which will take him out of the race. What a shame after a phenomenal start in Tampa. Snyder is unchallenged and still on the charge. Current 300 class, third place racer Anya Cauley again making this look really easy. Great aerial view of the course here in Tampa Bay. Kelly Bavall coming around turn number 1. He's on the gas. And we are back with the current 300 class leader, Troy Snyder, on the number 110 Yamaha. 250 class racer setting a good pace, number 421 of Ken Moore. He's racing with a broken hand. Back with the watercraft cam and on board with Eric Francis. Francis was underpowered in race 1 and has some work to do to get his boat back on pace. Lagopoulos makes the inside pass on both Noel Cuevas, both racers on Sea-Doo GTRs. Current 200 class leader Eric Diaz. He is looking great on that RXP. Scott Watkins currently in second place for the 250 class. He is managing to keep up a great pace today. An epic race developing here in the 300 class. Rasmussen vying for an inside pass on Snyder, and he sticks it. What a great move by Rasmussen. Snyder will not be happy about that one. Lagopoulos and Gas negotiating turn 3 on the course. Current leader in the 250 class, Eric Diaz looks really strong as he takes a look back. Rasmussen, the 300 class current leader, as we get the white flag in the final lap for race number 2. And Rasmussen takes the win in race number 2. He is going to be very happy about that win. And here are the results. In the 300 class, Stuart Rasmussen, Enrique Chia, and Anya Cauley. In the 250 class, Eric Lagopoulos, Scott Watkins, and Ken Moore. In the 200 class, Eric Lagopoulos, Rob Greenwald, and Kelly Bavall.
Scott Watkins gave it a good run. He's been racing for 20, 30 years. Guy's like a veteran superstar of our sport. They don't call him the Hollywood for nothing, So it was really excited to race against him and luckily come out on top. And so far we're unbeaten there. We've won every single moto in this class, and we're really excited to represent my sponsors and have some fun out there.
Eric, congratulations. Tell us about your race.
The machine ran good today. Water conditions were pretty good. He ran a good race, and he's representing Puerto Rico.
Huge congratulations, taking the win there in the race. And we didn't think anyone was going to catch Troy Snyder, but you did.
His boat was fast. I got to give him that. It just 30 minutes is a long time. You don't win the race in the beginning of 30 minutes. It's towards the end where endurance plays a big role in a 30-minute moto.
Here we go for the third and final race for AquaX Round 3. Looks like another clean start, and Troy Snyder again pulls away from the pack with a possible hole shot hat trick. On board with our watercraft cam, this time we have a rear view from Rob Greenwald's Yamaha VXR. And Troy Snyder gets the hole shot again as he gets to the first turn buoy ahead of the field. Let's see if he can keep this pace. He is being chased closely by Rasmussen and Francis this time. On board with Rob Greenwald on the 57. Oh, and we have a red flag on the course. This stops the race for a restart. Looks like we have some racers down at turn number 1, the 255 of Jeff Thornton and 361 of Eric Legopoulos. Both are in the water. They both look like they are okay. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened here. Currently loading the racers up on the backboards. Looks like they're okay. Here we go, looking into this here. Looks like Jeff Thornton's on the inside, but here comes Eric Legopoulos. He hits him from the inside. Nice shot there, you can see in the circle. Oh, wow. Huge hit.
Jeff, what happened?
I'm not entirely sure. I believe I had the inside line, and I think Eric clipped me coming in the corner. And we've been really close, and nobody yielded, basically, is what happened.
All right, so both racers are okay. Jeff Thornton has retired his boat, but Legopoulos has joined the restart for race number 3. Eric Francis getting ready on the start. Snyder gets the hole shot again for the 4th time this round. Nice tight turn by Snyder. 911 of Eric Francis. Racers giving each other plenty of room. Back on board with Rob Greenwald on the number 57 VXR. Snyder out in front of the pack again with a huge lead over Rasmussen. Kelly Bavall on the number 41 negotiates turn 1. And the number 52 of Anya Cauley looking good out there, keeping up a great pace and on track for a great overall podium position this weekend if she can keep this up. Back on board again with Greenwald and his Yamaha. Hydroturf sponsored rider Cauley with her signature pink colors, currently the only lay racer in the 300 class. Scott Watkins looking strong out there. Legopoulos has retired from the race, leaving this wide open for the 250 class. What a great view of the race course and the Tampa Bay skyline from our helicam. Currently in 3rd place, Alex Holguin on a number 73 on board his Yamaha ride. Eric Diaz on the charge for the lead in the 250 class. Another rear view from Greenwald's boat. Looks like he has a racer hot on his tail. 300 class, Snyder is still out in front, this time with Francis putting on the pressure. He is going for an outside pass, but swings wide. Snyder manages to hold off Francis, but Francis makes an inside move at the turn buoy. Pushes through, though. Snyder keeps the pressure on, though, and comes back on the outside. Some nice racing going on here. Side-by-side racing action. Francis is on the outside. Snyder's on the inside. They're coming up on a lapper. Here comes Snyder once again on the outside. Rasmussen and Cauley also having a great race right behind the leaders. Local racer Jason Russo in the 300 class making a play and moving up in the pack. Oh boy, looks like Snyder may be starting to feel the fatigue as Colley comes up and goes for the pass on the inside. Here she goes back out to the outside. Some great racing going on here. This is unbelievable. One of the best races we've seen all year long. Very clean racing action. And we have the checkered flag with Francis on the 911 taking the 300 class win. So, your winners overall in the 300 class, the 911 of Eric Francis, the 52 of Anya Colley, 77 of Jason Russo. In the 250 class, 55 of Watkins, 421 of Ken Moore, the 73 of Alex Hoagland. In the 200 class, 57 Greenwald, Diaz, and Duval. Overall for the weekend is 222 of Rasmussen, the 911 of Eric Francis, 52 of Colley. In the 250 class, this is Logopoulos, Hoagland, and Moore. In the 200 class, it's Greenwald, Belval, and Maxon.
Overall, the weekend was pretty good. We had a little mechanical issue in the last moto. We found out what it was, but we'll be ready for the next round.
Yeah, actually one of the biggest things I enjoyed about it was I had my wife and my 2 children here, and it's been so long since I raced that my children never really knew I did this. So to be able to come in this weekend and show them what I used to do and actually come out on top, it was a really good feeling.
I rode as hard as I could, like every joint in my body aches to pull off the win in Moto 3 over Diaz. With on the last lap on the white flag, he had a faster ski, and I was giving it everything I had to hunt him down. And let me tell you something, wait till Cocoa Beach. The 200 class has no idea what's coming.
Well, Brian, the whole weekend was incredibly exciting, but that last race, wow, that was someone else.
That was definitely something else, Kevin. I mean, you know, those guys put on a heck of a show. I think that was the best race that we've seen all year, even from last year.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys put on a heck of a show from 200 all the way to 300 class.
And I tell you what, they did it just in time because stormy weather is a-coming. Hopefully, though, next time out in Cocoa Beach, when you join us, we'll have Floridian blue skies and sunshine. So until then, from all of us here, see ya.